heaven knows I need a little hope for a better day. A little love to find a way through this messy life I made for myself. Someone to say everything's okay.
Hello, I'm Ilana Levine, host of Little Known Facts. I've always been inspired by people who love what they do. On this podcast, I speak with actors who you love to watch do what they love to do. Little known fact about my guest today, he is an avid surfer and travels the globe searching for great waves. Welcome back, Mad Men's John Slattery. John directed a film starring Philip Seymour Hoffman called God's Pocket, and I hope you rent it or just however you can go get it.
Go get it.
Go get it. You know what? We'll wait. Go get it. We'll just sit here.
Just get it.
Go get it. We'll just have some coffee.
God's
then.
Pocket.
And also,
Philip Seymour Hoffman was, God bless him, was in it, and it's I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's somebody. If you turn the camera on, there's everything he does is not only usable, you just have to sort of figure out, well, how am I gonna use all of this? Yeah, he was pretty extraordinary.
I mean, talk about watching an actor going, he played Capote,
mm-hmm.
and he's playing this part, and he did Death of a Salesman. I mean, his range of characters that he played, the characters who are much older than him at times, characters that have lived lives, so other than his own upbringing. And I only think of this now because God's Pocket, which is this beautiful movie, because Phil died, it changes the narrative of how that film, what the film's legacy is. And it'll live because of that too, in another way that a little indie film might not have the people circling back to it.
It did get, it did go sideways in many, many ways. I mean, most importantly, the loss of, Phil, just as a human being. But yeah, as a film, that is, for lack of, it's among other things distracting when the first person up on the screen has passed and no one can believe that it's actually happened. And he's the first. The movie opens up and there he is, and all you can think of is, oh my God, he's gone.
Right.
And it's a comedy.
Right.
So, there goes the funny. It
was a comedy.
It was a dark comedy, right? And it was,
now
Phil, he produced it with me, and he was such a funny person.
Yeah.
I mean, really, obviously a great, person, actor of depth and an artist, but really funny. And it wasn't funny anymore.
Right. And I have watched it again, and I have to say,
it's not funny.
I never thought it was funny. And
I never thought you were funny.
You're at a moment where it's an exciting time in terms of the kinds of choices you can make. You have been a part of something that few people will ever be a part of, which is a show that, because of very specific reasons and the timing of it, just hit a moment culturally. It's a kind of heady thing to observe as a friend, and I'm sure it's heady and strange to be a part of it. I feel like you're someone who is really up to the challenge in life of taking on things that you haven't done before, whether it's directing, whether it's having to take your clothes off on camera, whether it's sitting here naked right now to do this interview. It's ridiculous. I didn't even ask you to, and you are in clogs, which is ridiculous. Have you ever played a gay person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kissed
played
a
a
man.
Woman. What's that? Who did you kiss?
On stage. Dan Butler.
Lucky
me. Dan, if you're out there, you smoochy bastard, you.
Always had nice breath. Banaka.
He had whiskers. I remember that was the weird thing. I was like, wow, I don't like this whisker thing. Mm-hmm. Done that. Been naked on stage. Been naked, I think in a movie. I don't know. The good thing about being my age is that those days are over.
Right.
Do I want to do that? I don't think I would do that anymore.
Well, you just were naked recently on Mad Men.
Oh, yeah, I was. Well, not really. I mean, you don't sort of.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I rewound.
Your ass is there. But
anyway, but that's the least of it. I think people think, there are things for different people that are scary. Lena Dunham whether she's nervous about being naked or not, there's less trauma
Right.
in the world now
it's not
around
that big
it.
a deal.
But
I mean,
are
it's,
there things that, have you read anything lately that you'd be like, I don't know if I can go there?
I don't know. I haven't. I mean, things, certainly scare me. I mean, I wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh, how am I going to do
Donald
this?
Trump.
Donald Trump scares the fuck out of me.
I can't believe you're stumping for him. That's crazy.
Well, that's because it's scary.
You love
because,
a winner.
I want to challenge myself. So I am going to get Donald Trump elected.
Good for you. Are there things that people have told you along the way that stay with you?
I had a director once tell me, I said, can I do another take? And he goes, well, yeah, but why? I mean, I said, well, I don't know. I wanted to put this thing down in a different way. And he goes, well, you've taken all of the life. You've squeezed all the life out of this thing. Oh. I said, what do you mean? He said, there's no spontaneity in it. It was like the first job. And I was like, well, it was helpful to know that, it's to practice something and choreograph it and then do it on film is not interesting at all. If there's no life in it, spontaneity, humanity in it, truth, actually in the moment,
living, breathing, and
responding.
I mean,
and that's a good thing to learn young. I was directing a young actor, and he did this take, and then he did it again the same way. And I said, okay, let's do another one. And I don't know, with the note, like, don't apologize as much. I know you're actually apologizing, but maybe it should be a little less like you don't really want to do this, something like that. And he did it exactly the same way. And I said, and he goes, well, see, the reason I'm apologizing is, I said, I know why. And then you did that already, but let's try a different one. And then he stops and goes, well, the reason and I said, wait, do you want to do this the same way again? You realize there's no point to that, right? We have it this way already. And the person you're working with just did it 5 different ways.
Right.
But I think people think, well, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to do it one way, and that's how I'm going to do it. And it's antithetical to doing it on film.
Right. But also that's what they did in the audition. Like, a lot of times it's like, okay, that's what I did in the audition. And that's what they saw. So I'm going to.
But this was like someone who was on this thing for a while. And I was like, oh, you really think that this is how you're supposed to do it?
Right.
You're supposed to do it one way and then keep doing it that way. So I learned that's not a good idea. Things that people said to me. It's more what people don't say. I mean, when I started doing this, the encouragement I got was that no one told me, this is not for you.
Right. Do you know Roger Bart?
Yeah.
I interviewed him the other day, and he said that when he got out of Mason Gross, you did like the IRTAs or like the league auditions where you kind of, it's your first time out, like, I'm auditioning professionally, and they do you the kindness of sending you, like, a couple of weeks later, the scribbles that they wrote down during your, your contemporary and your classical monologue. And to a person, all of them were like, you're terrible.
Oh.
You should not
no
do
future.
This. No.
Yeah.
So for me, who's really interested in sort of how do you, in the face of adversity or in the face of that kind of challenge, like, do you hang those on your bedroom wall and every day go, I'll show you? Because that's pretty heady. That doesn't feel great when you're.
No, I mean, we've all had rejection. I mean, doing this for a long time, you get rejected for a million reasons. Your nose is too big, it's too small, you're too.
No, yours, it is too big.
It is too big. It is,
You're
actually.
too big. Is there one that you can think of, like the one that got away? And of course it didn't, but at the time that you were like, wow, I thought.
Geez. I have a terrible memory, generally speaking, until all of a sudden I'll be on the subway in 15 minutes and I'll go, oh,
there was. All right. Don't worry. You can call in. I will be interviewing Judy Kuhn next week, and you can totally call in.
Well, the one that no, I don't really have. There were, I wanted other people's careers.
Like who? Because now
Kevin Spacey. I still want Kevin Spacey's career.
Do you? You want to break the fourth wall and
I want to
talk about being president?
Yeah, I do want to do that.
That's cool, right?
That's I feel like if there's a way to endear yourself or make people identify with you, just look at the camera and go, watch what I do. Watch this, and then turn around and do something. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I would like to try that.
Okay,
but then he already did it.
Yeah, but you could do it anyway if you wanted. I mean, no, I don't know that anyone would see it.
I could do it, and then they would just, they'd go, well, he's just trying to be.
Do you know what
like
you could
Kevin
do?
Spacey.
You could look, but you could do it differently. You could look right in the camera and say, look at Kevin Spacey.
Watch what Kevin Spacey does now. What if I did that? What if I just stood by in the room, in like the Oval Office, and was just like, watch what Kevin Spacey's going to do right now. And then he says, watch what I'm going to do.
I would actually go pitch that show with you tomorrow. I think that's a really good idea.
The making of
Totally.
House of Cards.
Totally. I think you should do that. So we do this thing, and you can pretend that I didn't already text you this question. But I do have a little segment where I ask everyone, and if you have one, maybe you've never had an audition that didn't go the way you wanted it to.
I've never had a bad audition.
I know. So maybe you could make one up. Do you ever, I remember one of my first auditions was, I think, for Jonathan Mark Sherman's play at Playwrights Horizons, and Daniel Swee was the casting director, and the
nicest man in the world,
on the planet,
in show business.
And I would say that even not on the radio.
Yeah, but she's shaking her head and sticking her tongue out like, ugh.
Despite what happened recently at Lincoln Center, between me and Lincoln Center, and I think it might have been The Women in Wallace. Do you remember that title? I don't know.
Yep.
Back in 1923, and I loved the play so much, and here was a writer like my age writing about characters my age, and it was totally thrilling. And I went in, and I, at some point in the scene, am meant to give a condom to the person that I'm talking to in the scene. And, I had this whole idea of going to take the prop out, and I was going to look like as if having the actual condom would show them wow, she's really good.
She's done her homework.
First of all, she brings her own props.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that'll save us.
Brought her own rubber.
How titillating.
Yeah.
All of it.
I'm going to use that rubber.
It's, first of all, even if she doesn't get it, we're going to ask her if maybe can we keep that?
Can we do an improv?
Can you leave that? But during the audition, for whatever reason, I was so excited and too nervous, I couldn't get it out of my pocket. It got stuck. And so I thought...
In your or in your actual pocket?
In my pocket. China
you know
pocket.
what I thought I was going to really, really go, I was going to go to a place that they hadn't seen, and you put the thing in your...
Because that's the kind of actress I am.
I'm telling you, man. You
parents,
are committed.
Bob and Helen Levine are going to be listening to this podcast, and
they know what a is.
They do. I hope so.
At least Helen does.
Anyway, so I couldn't get it out, and I did the audition, and I had to go back. You would walk up the aisle past them to get to the door that exits the theater. And I got outside, and I was like, I didn't use the condom. I didn't use the condom. And I was so obsessed with this that I walked back into...
Always a mistake.
What part
Never
of that?
go back to an audition that you fucked up. Just get me back in that room. No.
I walked back in, took the condom out of my pocket, and handed it to Daniel Swee, who just looked at me with complete
pity
and mostly dismay, probably dismay. And then I walked out, and I wanted to go back in again.
That's what he's thinking.
Go back in again.
Yeah, can I just...
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. It's just I had the thing, and I think about those moments of just wanting something so badly.
I took a Klonopin once because I was nervous, and I called a friend. I said, "Do you have any beta blockers?" Because I used to remember. I think I discovered those.
Yeah.
I feel like in my circle of friends, I was like, "Hey, I have something that." If you get nervous, you can take this pill,
and it will not affect performance.
Your heart won't be beating in your teeth, so you can actually maybe concentrate on what you're saying.
Right, I'm on one right now.
I used I use a suppository.
Do you?
Yeah, a big giant beta blocker. So I shove it up my.
That's a great idea.
In my
you're obsessed. You're obsessed. Go on
with. Sticking things in my
I like it
inside my body.
Everyone's really a 9-year-old boy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on. So you're like, dude, do you have a
I did that.
Klonopin?
Yeah. So he said, I don't have anything like that. I have a Klonopin, and I was like, what's a Klonopin? And he said it's an anti-anxiety pill. And I said, yeah, bring it over. And I was at a hotel in Los Angeles.
Were you
about to screen test or not even screen, one of those horrible tests where you're in the room with all these,
right.
People
a network test.
The worst. Maybe the worst thing Whoever discovered that was a real asshole.
It was me.
Yeah, it was you.
Me. It was me.
Like how much? Like just now they don't even do that anymore, right?
No.
They put people on